Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that countdown. Future job as a clerk for us. Welcome, everyone, this morning to the Montgomery County Council. Today, our first item on our agenda is a proclamation celebrating Women's History Month. I'm going to invite my other fellow women colleagues down to the well to start the proclamation. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kate Stewart, and I am the president of the Montgomery County Council. Thank you for joining us today. I do have the distinct pleasure of being the first woman on the Majority Women Council to be president. And I am so glad to be joined by my colleagues who will speak in a moment. On Zoom, we do have our colleagues, Councilmember Lukey and Mink, because as we know, as women, we do a lot in our lives. And sometimes that means not being able to be present for certain things, but they are present on Zoom, and we are so glad they are with us. So I just want to give a few remarks before turning over to my colleagues. To one, just say thank you to all the amazing women who are in this room. We have school board members. We have representatives from Congressman Raskin's office. We have so many department heads in our county government led by women. And I just think that is just so incredible. Thank you so much. We have from Senator Van Hollen's office. Good to see you. And we have representatives from the chamber and our business community. We just enjoyed a wonderful breakfast from Lemon Slice, a woman-owned business in downtown Silver Spring. And we just want to thank everyone for coming today. Because here in Montgomery County, we still celebrate days like today. We still celebrate Women's History Month. And we know there are so many challenges, as there have been over the years. We know there's still a long way to go on pay equity, making sure women are represented at all levels of industry and government. And we also know that for all women, we celebrate International Women's Day, but particularly for women of color and trans women, they're seeing even more difficulties now as we're seeing all the chaos, cruelty coming out of the White House. And so here in Montgomery County, we come together on days like today because we know that as women across different segments of our community, that the way we strive, we advance is coming together and supporting each other. And so days like today are really important to celebrate. This year's theme is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. And I'm going to ask Dr. Ann Kademian from the Universities of Shady Grove, and I think a number of her students are here to join us as I let my colleagues say a few words, and then we'll hear from Dr. Kademian. Let's start over here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Natalie Fanny. There you go. My name is Natalie Fanny Gonzalez. I'm a council member. I'm just going to say, yesterday, the three of us, plus a couple guys, were I chaired the Economic Development Committee for the County Council, and we had a session that was very eye-opening. We had one of the items that we had on the agenda was discussing the economic indicators for Montgomery County, and it was shocking to see the data. We are losing young professionals, especially women. And there are two top reasons for that. One, the lack of affordable and high quality childcare. We need childcare to work, okay, as women. So that's one. And two, the high price of housing in the county. On that last point, we have a public hearing today. Stay tuned. I felt I had to say that. There you go. Next. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Marilyn Balcom. I am the council member for District 2, and I'm so glad to see everyone. When I walked into the breakfast this morning, it was just so wonderful to see so many highly intelligent, high fun, the energy in the room and the networking in the room. And as Council President said this morning, we all got here with help from our friends and help from the community. And I can look around the room and see so many women who have personally helped my journey and helped me become the person that I am today. So I thank you all so very, very much. And when we celebrate Women's History Month, there's so much that we have to be proud of in our history. But the one thing that we sometimes forget is no one in this room or in the world would be here without women. So I just want to congratulate everybody here for all the great work that you've done. So thank you.
That's a mic drop moment. I'm Councilmember Lori Ann Sales, an at-large council member, and it's an honor to represent this county. As you've heard and as we've witnessed, it was a bright light coming into the room this morning, because I've been asking everyone, how's your year going? How's your year going? And what's happening? All the work that we've done over the years. I love this theme this year. Together to get through all of this chaos and havoc and ugliness is going to take us moving forward together, especially having young ladies of the next generation. Because if the woman who didn't fight for us to ensure that, we have the right to vote, reproductive health, the things that we have fought for, our trailblazing women have fought for, we're now picking up the mantle, unfortunately. It's a repetition that we don't want to see. But I'm honored to work with these women and be able to ensure that we continue that work so we don't have to have the same things happening to the next generation. And so, happy Women's History Month. Thank you for what you're doing to inspire the next generation. And please check out our event on the 28th of March to join us at our Women's History Month breakfast. Come on, Ms. Kademia. Dr. Kademia.
Great. Now, all right, now we're going to ask Dr. Kademian to come up. I'll introduce you first. As I said, this theme this year is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. And when we heard the theme was this year and thought, gee, who should we invite to receive the proclamation and speak, it was obvious. Took us literally seconds to think of you, Ann, because of the work that you're doing here in Montgomery County as the executive director of the Universities of Shady Grove. You really lead by example and inspiring others. And I just am so glad that you're able to come today to bring some of the University of Shady Grove students, and just thank you so much. And we'll have you speak.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. Before I start, I want to take a minute to have each of the students introduce themselves and just say a little bit about themselves. Brianna, you want to go first?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brianna Guevara Benitez, and I'm a business management student at the Smith School of Business, graduating this May. It's a privilege to be here today surrounded by such inspiring leaders. At the University of Shady Grove, I serve as a student admin assistant in the office of Dr. Ann Kademian, where I assist in coordinating tasks for key leadership initiatives. In this role, I've gained valuable experience in time management, problem solving, and supporting strategic decisions that contribute to the growth and success of our academic community. Alongside Ann, I am a co-coordinator for the National Academy of Public Administration 2025 Social Equity and Leadership Conference. I've had the opportunity to collaborate with a team of dedicated individuals to start planning a conference that aims to highlight the importance of leadership and equity in public service. This role has sharpened my ability to lead initiatives and manage projects with a focus on impact and community engagement. Additionally, I'm an oral communication fellow at the University of Maryland, where I work closely with business students to help them enhance their public speaking and communication skills. In addition to my academic and leadership roles, I am also a substitute teacher for Montgomery County Public Schools. Thank you. In this profession, I have the opportunity to contribute to the educational development of students, where I am privileged to contribute to the development of young minds and help them create an engaging and supporting learning environment. Finally, a leadership role that holds great personal significance to me is being the eldest of 5 younger siblings. This role has taught me the importance of responsibility, empathy, and guidance as I strive to be a positive role model for them. Thank you.
Wow. It's hard to follow up. Hello, my name is Mariama Cham. I'm also a student at the Universities of Shady Grove. I study information science at the University of Maryland College Park. First, I would just like to say that I am extremely grateful to be in a room with such an outstanding woman. It's truly an inspiration, and Montgomery County has provided me and my family so many opportunities, whether that's been in public school, allowing me to be a dual enrollment student and graduate my associate's degree in high school, or whether that be opening opportunities for my parents who immigrated here in the 90s with very little but came out with so much. And so I would just like to say thank you for all of the initiatives that you guys push to create a better space for me and other women like me and other women of color and just everybody. So thank you so much for all the work that you guys do. And a little bit about myself. So yes, I also work in the executive director's office alongside Anne. It's one of the greatest opportunities that I've ever had in my life to work with such an inspiring woman like Anne and build conversations around social equity and leadership and trying to facilitate conversations to bring students to the forefront of those problems has been one of the most enriching opportunities that I've had. I also work with a lot of the other women in the office. I work with Mary Lang and Rose Jackson Spears. I also work with Cheryl Green, the data team that has taught me so much and allowed me to give me a space to use my data skills that I've learning in the great information science major to facilitate conversations on how can we build opportunities for students who graduate from USG, from all of our beautiful institutions in Maryland, and how we can create a pathway for them so that when they graduate, they're able to get a job or have any opportunity that they're willing to have. So it's a great opportunity. Thank you so much. I also work with Anne on the Social Equity Leadership Conference. I love that conference. I love the idea of the conference. I love the conversations that it's bringing, especially in this time. I think it's really important to especially have a student voice. So it's amazing working with Brianna because she's also incredible and smart, and she brings a lot to the conversation as well. And another hat that I wear at USG is also being a communication fellow. So I help the information science students, my fellow students, and I help them facilitate conversations within their groups for their classes, providing them with some skills as best as I can to not only perform well in their assignments and for their professors, but gain skills that can actually help them outside of school when they're getting a job or doing interviews, and just helping to facilitate and take what I've learned in these amazing spaces and give it all to the students that I also work with. So that has been another amazing opportunity that I've had at USG. And outside of USG, I also work heavily with my high school, Northwood High School. I work with Northwood High School. I work with my dual enrollment mentor, and we help students a lot of our dual enrollment students who are kind of already getting that early start with education and making education affordable, which is something that has been a conversation in Montgomery County for a while. And I think that dual enrollment has been one of the best opportunities for students to make make education more accessible, because that is one of the keys to success. And so I work with him and talking to the students and providing ways to show that, oh, here's a traditional route. You can go to university, you have your associate's degree, but what can you do with your associate's degree? What are the non-traditional paths like trade school? Something that we can broaden students' horizons and find places that they can go and be successful. So I enjoy Montgomery County. I love Montgomery County. I love the work that you guys are doing. It's an incredible opportunity to be here, and I just want to say thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Lulua Shahmalak. I'm an information science student at Universities of Shady Grove. I graduated with an associate's degree from Montgomery College in data science, and I'm also minoring in technology innovation leadership. So it's a wonderful day today, and I'm so glad to be here. It's a pleasure to be here among all these wonderful women here today. And as I stand here as a Muslim wearing a hijab, I am reminded that leadership isn't just about authenticity, but it's also about authenticity and growth and identity. So talking about authenticity, there's nothing like the authenticity in the story a data scientist tells from just numbers and words. So in my internship at the FDA, I was working on a capstone project where I had to analyze the collaboration between the division of the FDA and whether collaboration was a factor or if it was significant in enhancing publications and the amount of publications that are published in their portal. So let me just say that was definitely an incredible story to tell there. Currently, I also work at USG as part of the data analytics team, and I am involved in the READY initiative, which is a project to enhance educational pathways and career readiness for students. And in this role, I work in data visualization, creating dashboards and survey work, data and data analysis for anything that the department requires. And also, I get to work with wonderful people in this department, many of whom are women who inspire me every day, like Dr. Ann herself. And she has been a true role model and inspiration throughout the entire process. Reflecting on Women's History Month, I also realized that as an information science student, I noticed that every single woman is a program manager in her family. If multitasking was an Olympic sport, women would definitely take home the gold. It's a role that requires multitasking, a whole lot of grace, and only women would be able to do it, for sure. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak here today, and I'm glad to be a part of such an esteemed company, and it's a privilege to be here today.
All right, well, I don't know that I need to say anything else. These are remarkable young women who inspire me every day. You heard reference to the Social Equity Leadership Conference. We are hosting that at the Universities at Shady Grove this year. It's part of the National Academy of Public Administration's annual conference, and we would love to see you all there. If you're interested in speaking or being part of it, please let me know. We've got a great team helping us put it together. So, well, I want to say it is an honor to be here with all of you on this auspicious occasion of Women's History Month. And I love the theme, Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. Thank you so much, President Stewart, for inviting me, and all of you for your leadership here in the county, all of the women on the council, all the council members. I look out at this room and, I know so many of you and work with so many of you and love so many of you and enjoy our friendships and the work we do together. So, let's keep collaborating and moving forward. I want to just share a few thoughts about education, because I believe that we can do so much more in this county with education. And, not only inspire and motivate young women and all students, but really do it at scale, like in a big way, right? So I just want to share a few thoughts with you and get you thinking about this. Shady Grove is a campus in the University System of Maryland. It's very unique. We have 9 universities on one campus, right? And students follow a pathway in Montgomery County to get there. They go to Montgomery County Public Schools. They go to Montgomery College, our tremendous partners. Sometimes they come from Frederick Community College, sometimes from Howard or from Prince George's Community College. And they transfer into programs at Shady Grove, right? And it's all about access. It's about affordability. It's about an ROI of a job when you graduate as well. It's about students staying in the county as well. We want students to graduate. 85% of the students who graduate from programs at the universities at Shady Grove stay in the region, right? So yeah, we don't want to lose any of this talent here. We want all this talent to stay. But I think, you know, we work with educational partners in a really creative and imaginative way. And I think there's the potential here to do some really creative things together. What makes our campus, and indeed our county, unique is the potential not only for educational opportunity, but for educational transformation. A transformation that begins by centering the student experience in all that we do, so that we not only inspire young women to learn and grow, but we transform the opportunities for generations of young women to lead with their individual strengths, with their passions and interests, and to lead with their values. And you heard this unique set of strengths, interests, and values here today. Surely, we are all dedicated to student opportunity and success, absolutely. Yet our long-standing methods and models tend to prioritize our institutions over students. You may all remember the concept of a shopping mall with big parking lots, wayfinding signs that list seemingly hundreds of stores with X's that say you are here. And for a pair of socks or a new blender, you will need to wander and roam through the Gap, through Annie's Pretzels, up and down escalators, and through Macy's. And whether you find what you came for or not, as you find your way to your car and maybe use your car alarm to find where you parked, right? You've had an institutional shopping experience, right? Or today, you can go online, you can find exactly what you want, and the purchase comes to your door. Now, education is a more complicated enterprise than shopping. I recognize that. But today, in higher education, we are making students go to the mall, right? We may give them a card for meals, a bus pass to travel back and forth, and a special discount for their shopping, but they must still navigate the institution. Why can't we simply build a more coherent, smoother pathway that supports the unique journey of each student, access to the resources they need, and the realization of their individual strengths, interests, and values through credentials, degrees, work experience, and careers as lifelong learners? So how do we build this transformational educational experience? One of my favorite authors and speakers is a professor named Angus Fletcher. He's a professor of story sciences at Ohio State University. In his quest to help all of us access and utilize the creative potential of our minds, he focuses on the idea of exceptional information. This is not information that is the best or information that is most true, but rather information that is the exception to a rule. The information that takes perspective and reflection to notice, and the information that can be transformative if we build on our creativity to make the exception a reality. Each of these young women here today, indeed every woman in this room, everyone in this room, we are writing our story. A story built on exceptional information, unique intellectual, physical, and emotional strengths, building on our interests, pursuit of what motivates and drives us, to solve problems, to create vision, to bring resources to bear on the interests that inspire us, and to build on our values, the guiding principles that inform our daily lives, give clarity to difficult decisions, and shape the cultures that we all build among our friends, our family, organizations, and communities. It is, I believe, the full realization of an individual's strengths, interests, and values that makes an outstanding leader and inspires generations. Not a GPA, not the number of honors classes you have taken, not the speed with which you complete 4 years of college, and not the 4-year campus that you attend. Leadership is found where individuals can build and live their story, their exceptional information. We need to support every student's journey and make that exceptional journey the rule. Our county needs every one of you to make this transformation possible, to be the employers, the policymakers, the teachers, the nonprofit leaders who mentor, who provide experiential learning opportunities, who share insights on skills and talent needs, who provide scholarships, who network with the students like crazy this morning. It was awesome to see the students meeting so many of you, and who hire outstanding students along the way who stay in the county and thrive. Before I close, I want to thank the women who have made today and every day in our modern lives possible. The women who ran for county offices, right, for the first, second, and third time. The women who built libraries out of trailers for elementary schools, like my mom in Olivet, Michigan. The women who built their own businesses. The women who teach, who heal, who build and discover and support. To all of you here, thank you for showing up, for sharing, for connecting, and making the connections that will last far beyond today. Let's not only educate and inspire, let's work together to transform educational opportunities in Montgomery County and Maryland so that every woman, every student has the resources, the support, the educational pathways, and the confidence needed to succeed, to be exceptional. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anne, for those inspiring words. I think we all know what we need to do. So usually when we do proclamations, we invite you all up here, but I had a feeling that Anne and the students were going to have some remarkable words to speak for you. So that's why I had you all sitting in the audience so you could hear it. And now I'm going to ask, as I asked my colleagues to come down from the dais so we could read the proclamation, if everyone who is here for the proclamation wants to come up and stand up here as we read the proclamation and take some pictures.
Great job. All right, the order is a little. Yeah, just hand it down. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just take this one.
Stand next to the bright stars.
We did make sure you guys get some. Yeah. We can get some more. All right. There you go. You can pass it that way. All right. Will, do you want to? We'll just pass it over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll just stand right here. No, come back here. No, get in here. We have the wise men. Yes.
Should we just get that out of the way?
Yeah, let's just get
I know. All right, I think we got a crowd here. All right, we're going to read the proclamation. Oh, I need my glasses. There's no way this is happening. Oh, it's okay. All right. This is the Montgomery County Council proclamation. Whereas women of every race, class, religion, and ethnic background have made extraordinary contributions to the growth and strength of Montgomery County, our nation, and the world in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and
whereas women have fought for and worked tirelessly to secure their own independence, enfranchisement, and equal opportunities, and have spearheaded efforts to create a fairer and more equitable world for all, and
whereas, after being petitioned by the National Women's History Project, Congress officially recognized March as Women's History Month in 1987 to celebrate the contributions women have made to the United States and their achievements throughout American history, and
whereas, while women have made great strides towards equity and equality, we cannot rest until all women can assume their rightful place as full participants in a secure, prosperous, and just society, and
whereas archaic stereotypes about gender roles help perpetuate the gender pay gap and undervalue the work of women, with women in the U.S. earning about 71 cents on a dollar compared to their male counterparts, at the same educational level, and women continue to be underrepresented in the highest paying careers, and
whereas, despite these challenges, the accomplishments of women have been critical to the growth and development of the economy, medical and scientific discoveries, cultural and artistic expression, social advancement, and so much more. And
whereas Montgomery County has a rich history filled with women trailblazers. Some examples include Rachel Carson, the mother of the modern environmental movement, Clara Barton, founder of the American Red Cross, and Emily Edmondson, an abolitionist whose attempt to escape enslavement helped end slavery in the United States. And
whereas today the 20th Montgomery County Council includes 6 women council members who are, that deserves a round of applause. Please note, I'm the only one that got a round of applause in the proclamation, who are each making history of their own and together comprise a majority of the legislative body. And
whereas the theme for Women's History Month this year is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations in Recognition of the Collective Strength and Influence of Women Across our Diverse County. And whereas Montgomery County strives to be a welcoming community for all women, thanks to strong support from our countless community leaders, government officials, nonprofit organizations, and county agencies. And
whereas during Women's History Month, we commemorate the struggles, celebrate centuries of progress, and reaffirm our steadfast commitment to women's rights in Montgomery County, the United States, and worldwide.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland recognizes March as Women's History Month. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
All right, everyone, we need to move on to our council meeting. Again, thank you everyone for coming today. Yeah, no. It's gonna be a long day. All right. All right, thank you everyone so much for coming today. I just want to do a shout out to our Communications and Public Information Office for pulling everything together. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Now we're going to move on to general business. Madam Clerk, will you please share today's announcements?
Good morning. Thank you. The Council will hold public hearings on the proposed FY26 operating budgets and FY26 to 31 Public Services Program and Fiscal Policy for the Montgomery County Government, Montgomery College, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, WSSC Water, and Montgomery County Public Schools on Monday, April 7th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m., and on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. Those wishing to provide testimony in person or virtually must register in advance via the Council's website. Written, audio, and video testimony may be submitted via the Council's website. Also, the Montgomery County Council is extending the deadline seeking applicants to serve on the Planning Board. Applicants must be county residents registered to vote in Montgomery County and may be associated with any political party or unaffiliated with a political party. Applications for the vacancy are due by 5 o'clock p.m. on Monday, April 14th, 2025. Cover letters and resumes can be submitted by email to council.clerk@montgomerycountymd.gov. There are two changes to today's agenda. The first is consent item 2D, action on a resolution to approve an amendment to the FY25 to 30 Capital Improvements Program and Supplemental Appropriation number 2520 to the FY25 Capital Budget, Montgomery County Government, Department of General Services, Silver Spring Recreation and Aquatic Center has been removed from the agenda. And consent item 2J, action on a resolution to confirm the county executive's nominees to the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund Commission, have been shifted to agenda item 1.5. Finally, attending today's council meeting are council members Mink and Luedke. They are attending today's meeting virtually. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. There are no minutes for approval today, so we will move forward with our first agenda item. Thank you for waiting patiently. The council will sit as the district council to consider action on local map amendment H-154 regarding the property located at 11900 Park Lawn Drive, Rockville, Maryland, further identified as Lot 6 in the North Bethesda Industrial Center subdivision, as recorded at plat number 9530. Ms. Nadeau, I think I'm turning it over to you.
Good morning. So this is a local map amendment that will rezone a property in Rockville, Maryland. The council has three options here. You can either approve, disapprove, or remand the application. The packet includes a resolution that was provided by the hearing examiner and reviewed by council staff that would be consistent with the hearing examiner's report, which is to recommend approval of this application. If a council member disagrees or wants to remand, you can make a motion to disapprove or remand that application. And if that passes, he'll take a straw vote today and come back next week for a new resolution. So the property is about 2 acres. It is currently a 4-story office building with a parking lot. The proposal is to rezone it from EOF to ILF and construct a 3-story self-storage building. As noted, our hearing examiner recommends approval, and I will now hand it off to Ms. Ciccone to go through the report.
Thank you. Good morning, Council President, Council Vice President, and all council members. Thank you for having me this morning on local map amendment case number H-154. As Ms. Nadeau explained, this is a request for rezoning from the the current zone of this property is EOF, which is the Employment Office Zone, and the proposed rezoning would change it to the Light Industrial Floating Zone. The Office of Zoning and Administrative Hearing held a full-day hearing on this matter. There were no one filed any opposition. Nobody appeared in opposition of this application. The applicant I know that I've provided the council with a very detailed report, but just by way of a summary of what this case is all about, the applicant is a contract purchaser, and the owner is PDC Lexington LLC. And as the council president explained, this is a rezoning. And I would like to just give you a little lay of the land, just to give you a sense of where this is and what surrounds it. The subject property is bounded by the CSX train tracks to the west and southwest. Miss, thank you so much for having this up on the screen. Hopefully you can make out what's around it, but the property itself is on Parklawn Drive. It's bounded to the west and southwest by the CSX train tracks. Then you have Randolph Road up to the north. To the east, the neighborhood is bounded by several roads, including Hunter's Lane, Rocking Horse Road, and the combination of all and Sky Hill Road. Together, these roads form a boundary between a more dense and more mixed-use area within what is called the staff delineated neighborhood to the west. And you have predominantly single-family neighborhoods to the east. East of Parklawn Drive, within the neighborhood area, are more mixed uses, including garden apartment buildings directly across Parklawn Drive from the subject property, as well as the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School and the Rocking Horse Road Center. Along the south side of Randolph Road is the Lehman Plaza Commercial Center. What is proposed is the redevelopment of this, which is currently the EOF, and if it changes to light industrial, the proposed project would be to redevelop the existing suburban office building on this property with a new self-storage facility. The project aims to activate and enhance the street frontage through a building design where most of the property along Parklawn, there's actually, this is probably a good place for me to jump just to highlight what the binding elements are. But the idea is that the property on Parklawn will have a binding element which ensures that, binding element number 3, any building on the property must have a minimum of 70% of the front of the building facade located within 35 feet of the property boundary. So if you look at the layout right now, the property has a lot of, you have, a parking lot right on, fronting on Parklawn Drive, and the building itself is very significantly set back from the street. So the idea is, in line with the master plan, is to bring this building within, to ensure some more interaction between the pedestrian population, pedestrian community, and the building itself. There are 3 binding elements. As you're probably aware, binding elements are restrictive covenants that will run with the land. One of the restrictive binding element number 1 is that the use of the property will be limited to self-storage. Binding element number 2 is that the vehicular access to the site will be limited to a single consolidated access point from Parklawn Drive. And the last binding element, there are 4. The third one is that any building on the property must have a minimum of 70% of the front of the building facade within 35 feet so it should be set back no more than 35 feet. And binding element number 4 is that parking located between the building and the street is prohibited. And that also is in line with ensuring more interaction. It's to make it more pedestrian friendly and just have more interaction between the public and the building. The hearing examiner recommends approval of the rezoning based on the totality of the evidence on the record. And I'm happy to take any questions if the district council has any.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Ciccone, and it's great to have you here in this role before the council. I believe this is your first presentation. So
It is.
It is. Thank you so much. I see I have Councilmember Friedson and then Natalie Fanny-Gonzalez.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge first time before us, and we're really excited to see you. A familiar face, but in a new role, and I'm very excited. I know I speak for everybody when I say that, so that was really the reason why I wanted to speak. I'm supportive of this and happy to make a motion at the appropriate time, but if there's others in the queue, I'll yield to that.
Councilmember Fanny-Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation, and also happy to see you here in this new role. This is in my district, and I have been following it very closely. I also worked on the master plan in this area, so I am 100% in agreement with everything that you have explained. I was going to make the motion, but if you want to make the motion, okay, I'll make the motion. I'm up for approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Seeing no one else in the queue, this is a roll call vote, so I'll turn it back to the clerk.
Councilmember Lutke?
Yeah.
Councilmember Lutke votes yes. Councilmember Mink?
Yes.
Councilmember Mink votes yes. Councilmember Sales?
Yes.
Councilmember Sales votes yes. Councilmember Friedson?
Yes.
Councilmember Friedson votes yes. Councilmember Glass?
Yes.
Councilmember Glass votes yes. Councilmember Katz?
Yes.
Councilmember Katz votes yes. Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez votes yes. Councilmember Fanny-Gonzalez?
Yes.
Councilmember Fanny-Gonzalez votes yes. Councilmember Balcom?
Yes.
Councilmember Balcom votes yes. Councilmember Jawando?
Yes.
Councilmember Jawando votes yes. Councilmember Stewart?
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart votes yes.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Nadeau. Thank you, Ms. Ciccone, for coming today. Our next item is action on a resolution to confirm the county executive's appointments to the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund Commission. The names of those he has sent over for appointment is in the packet and on our agenda. I have a couple of colleagues in the queue. I'll first turn to Councilmember Balcom.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone who applied to the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund Commission, and to thank you for your service to our community. I also want to be clear that I do not object to any of the individuals who are nominated here today. I'm going to follow the lead of this morning and use my strong girl voice, my strong woman voice, to share my thoughts. One of the responsibilities of the council is to approve membership on our various boards, committees, and commissions. Because we have so many groups, approvals come to us on a very regular basis, sometimes 2 or 3 a day. Shortly after I was elected, as I was reading through the packet each week, I noticed that the Up County was rarely represented on these boards, committees, and commissions, both in the new members being nominated and the existing members who are in the middle of their various terms. At first, this seemed anecdotal, but based on the results of an OLO study done in February of last year, the data showed that the Up County was indeed represented at a much lower rate than other areas of the county. This study was done over a year ago and nothing has changed, which brings us to today's agenda and the approval of the nominees for this commission. This is such an important commission. The full duties are outlined in the packet. The commission will be responsible for making recommendations as to how the county will spend funds that we receive that resulted from the state's legalization and sale of cannabis, as well as making recommendations to the county on a wide array of programs. After all the work and due diligence that the county took to determine the type of expertise and life experience that should be represented on this commission, to ensure that these funds would be spent in the most impactful way, it was so disappointing that once again, my community was not represented. Not only is there no one from my district or the Up County, there is no one from the entire northwest quadrant of Montgomery County. There are, however, 9 of 13 nominees from Silver Spring alone. When I bring this up to this issue to the county executive's office, which I have done many times, I get the response that no one from the Up County applied. If this were any other demographic, that would not be an acceptable answer. We would all demand that there would be more direct outreach to the underrepresented community. I've said so many times, Germantown is the largest census-designated place in the county and most recently named the most diverse community in the country. The county cannot continue to espouse inclusion if we aren't including everyone in the county. I realize that the creation of this commission is a requirement of the state to receive Montgomery County's share of the cannabis tax revenue, and I also understand that it's time sensitive and this has to go forward. While I cannot vote in favor of this slate, I will also not vote against any individual. Therefore, I will abstain, and I implore everyone presented on this list to make sure that the work that you do, that you do on this commission represents the entire county, and I ask the executive branch to do a better job, and I ask my colleagues to please see my community. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Jawando.
Thank you, Madam President, and I want to thank Councilmember Balcom, my seatmate and good friend, for bringing this up. It is an important issue, and as she knows, in this process, as I'm one of the co-lead sponsors of this bill, along with Councilmembers Mink and Sales, that there were efforts made, not enough, to extend and try to get more people in this process from the Up County and to get more diversity of all types. I agree that this is an important goal and that we need to work with the executive to do better. I also am grateful for everyone who applied. There were many qualified applicants who applied in the current pool, and I know that you all will serve with distinction and congratulate you on your pending nomination. I will vote for the slate. I'm thankful to Councilmember Mink and Councilmember Sales for the work that their teams put into leading this effort, in particular Councilmember Mink and her team. And I want to thank everyone for applying. The good thing about this commission, like many of them, there will be a time when people cycle off and apply again, and the sale of cannabis and the disastrous war on drugs that created the need for some minor reinvestment that this will provide to repair the harm that's been done is an important mission, as Councilmember Balcom mentioned. So I will expect that that everyone on this who's being approved today will represent the diverse needs of our community, and that when we go forward for new appointments, that we will do a better job, and really appreciate Councilmember Balcom bringing that up. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilmember Mink.
Thank you. I also want to thank and acknowledge the comments of Councilmember Balcom. It is an important issue. We do need to do better as a county, and we need to figure out what the systemic solution is and not have this be like a whack-a-mole process every time. There does need to be much more strategic outreach to make sure that the pool of applicants that we're getting does represent the full breadth of our county in every way, including geographically. I'm excited for this commission to move forward and for these funds to get moving. At the same time, this is a use it or lose it situation. These funds are available to us from the state as soon as this commission is appointed and ready to get to work. So very much appreciate everybody who applied and appreciate all of those who are about to be getting to work to let us know how we should be spending out those funds, and also want to just note for the record that we need to keep a close eye on making sure that those funds actually do get moving and out into the community as recommended very quickly. We can't have any funds being held up on the county side. This commission is really important to ensure that here in Montgomery County we have impacted communities that have a very public and participatory role in deciding where this funding should land. So appreciate all the work of my colleagues in getting this going, and especially Council Members Jawando and Sales for their co-leadership on this effort.
Thank you. Councilmember Sales.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I also want to thank my co-sponsors, Councilmember Mink and Council Vice President Jawando, and working together to pass this legislation to ensure that we are able to reinvest in the communities that were disrupted, I would say, by the war on drugs. And so all of these meetings, similar to our other boards, committees, and commission meetings, are going to be open to the public. And so I hope that in addition to the appointed members, we will have great participation and a presence from our broader community to ensure that these reinvestment funds are circulated back into the community and truly impacts the lives of those that were impacted. So I'm so excited to have our council's support and look forward to the next steps and taking action on this. And thank you to my colleagues' words, because as an Up County resident, even though we represent the county at large, we often hear about how we're neglected, and whether it's through voting or participating on such an important committee, Up County voices matter, and look forward to working together to see how we can improve outreach and engagement from that part of the county. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Friedson.
Appreciate it. Just want to thank Councilmember Sales, Mink, and Jawanda for their work on this, and everybody who's been involved. It's a critical issue, a crucial commission, but I did want to just lift up Councilmember Balcom's point. I used to represent a good portion of that district, and it is an ongoing issue, and it hasn't been addressed. And we have a tremendous number of great opportunities and crucial circumstances where we need resident input, where we are asking for residents who are incredibly talented to be part of the policymaking process, to be part of county government, and we're not getting a representative voice that represents the whole county. And we have anecdotal evidence to suggest that, and we have data from the Office of Legislative Oversight to suggest that. There are a number of people on this slate and this committee who I know personally quite well, and I think it's a very talented group. But Councilmember Balcom's point is important. I'm going to join her in abstaining because I think it's not just a district council issue that she is raising, representing her own district, which she does so effectively and ably. It's a broader question of whether or not the efforts to recruit and to ultimately appoint to these commissions are reaching into the community in an effective enough way in order to get the type of broad-based representation that we discussed. So I appreciate that. I share her view on this not being about any individual. And in fact, I think that there are some terrific individuals, and the full group are all talented and experienced in their own right. But the issue that's being raised is too important from my perspective to have Councilmember Balcom making the point alone.
Thank you. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Appreciate all my colleagues for reemphasizing the importance of this commission, but pointing out the flaws systemically within the county's 95 plus boards, committees, and commissions process. And Councilmember Balcom issued the OLO report last year, which continues to guide this work. I do have a question about the process, and I don't know if it should be directed to Council President or to the clerk. How many times has this commission been put into the public domain for applications? Because I think that's really important here. And to broaden the point, if we had only put it out once and this is what we've got, then that does not bode well for the process. But if it had been put out multiple times, then it is a sign of the work we need to do to emphasize that the opportunities are available.
So I believe, hearing from my colleagues, it was put out twice, and then individual council members also put it out to their communities.
Okay. I think that context is important to show that a good college try was initiated, but certainly drives home the point that more work is needed. Thank you.
Council Vice President Jawando.
I appreciate that, and just wanted to mention also that it was mentioned, but I emphasize there was a time crunch here too, that to receive the funds. And we, Councilmember Balcom and I specifically, and Mink, we talked about if there wasn't that time crunch, could we have waited longer in addition to putting it out twice? But the systemic problem still remains, but that was something unique to this instance.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And I'll just add my thanks to Councilmember Balcom and all her work on this. We did take this up as the Government Operations Committee and added to the long list of things the Government Operations Committee has taken up and requested of the County Exec's Office. We were promised a full review of our committees and commissions, and we continue to wait on the report back from them, and we'll definitely check in with them on it. But we appreciate you taking this opportunity and also understanding from our colleagues the urgency of getting this commission seated. So with that, is there a motion to confirm the county executive's nominations to the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund Commission?
So moved.
I have Council Vice President Jawando moved, Council Member Lorianne Sales seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I have Council Member Lukey and Mink virtually, and so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Any opposed? Any abstaining? And we have 2 abstaining. All right, thank you, everyone. All right, our next agenda item is item number 2. It's our consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar without items E and J? So Councilmember Sales moved, Councilmember Balcom seconded. All those in favor of the consent calendar, please raise your hand. I'm seeing everyone on the dais and 2 folks virtual. That is everyone then. All right, we are in recess until 1:30 p.m., in which we will do many public hearings this afternoon and this evening. So take a walk around the block because you'll be sitting there for a while this afternoon and this evening. Thank you, everyone. And again, thank you to our entire Central staff for making this morning such a wonderful celebration for Women's History Month. Thank you.